Welcome back to the Night Shift on Sports Radio 810 WHB. I'm Michael Darcy, joined by Caden Sproul and Kyle Collier. In this second segment, I want to talk a little bit about the Chiefs and Giants matchup on Sunday Night Football. Should be a good one. Maybe a must-win game for the Chiefs in Week 3. I think we can all agree on that.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Definitely.
And, there's some Curtis Siebold actually had some stats about 0-2 playoff teams who 0-2 teams who go on to the playoffs, right? It's an odd thing, and the Chiefs can do it. I will say this: the last two teams to go to the Super Bowl, then start the next season 0-2, they both made it back. But 0-3, you're probably forfeiting the AFC West, right? Because if the Chargers win again, they got Denver coming up. Already, they'll have basically a 3-game lead on you. So yes, I'll call it a must-win.
Well, there's some people out there that think the Chiefs kind of already forfeited the AFC West. I'm not going to go that far because there's still 15 games to play, but the Chiefs can't keep digging themselves into a hole. And I don't think that they will because they played well against the Eagles on Sunday, but it didn't result in a win. I think that, going into New York, the Giants are a bad football team. I understand they're an NFL opponent, and you got to take them seriously. And they do some things very well. They can get after the quarterback. They've got a fierce front four that features, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, new draft pick Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau. They can really make Mahomes' life a living hell if they're not, careful up front. But outside of that, their back end of their defense is bad.
Yeah, they allow the most rushing yards per game, which is absolutely the matchup I cannot wait to watch.
Yeah, that's scary.
177.5 yards per game. That's insane.
What's the over-under on Chiefs rushing yards in this game?
Oh, that's a great question.
Because can I already take the under?
Yeah, I think even more. You're looking at the bigger picture. You look at the conference as well. If you're fighting for that 1 seed, man, it gets scary. I don't see the Bills or Ravens losing 4 or 5 games.
Definitely not the Bills.
Yeah,
that
and with their schedule, that
so
AFC
easy.
East is so bad, man. So, it's definitely a must-win when you're looking at the big picture and conference-wise. And then, division as well is obviously important. We've seen the Chiefs have won that, 9 years in a row, or 8, somewhere around there, years in a row. So, yeah.
And I'll add this. Furthermore, it's a must-win. You can't lose to Russell Wilson on national television.
No, you can't. And you have before.
Right.
You have before.
Yes, you have.
I'm a little surprised that they did put this game on Sunday Night Football. I think that every year there's always that one stinker on primetime.
Right.
This, I want to say, might be it, but the way the Chiefs have played for the past couple years against teams that they're by far superior than, they don't necessarily blow them out of the water. Nope. In fact, I'm looking at their spread right now. The Chiefs are favored to win this game. I think it's a 5.5-point Chiefs favorite in this game. That's not a lot of points considering you are a team that should be in Super Bowl contention.
Yeah, I think this game reminds me a lot of, I don't know if you guys remember a couple years ago, the game at the Meadowlands against the Jets.
Oh, yeah.
When Zach Wilson started. It reminds me of that game a lot. It's a team we should have blown out.
Yeah.
A game should have never been close, but it actually came down to the wire. I think Zach Wilson, of course, had his best game of the year, and everybody was like, oh, is he back? This has a big feel to that game. I feel.
And I actually think that still remains as Zach Wilson's career best night.
Is that what kept him in the league?
I'd say so.
Yeah,
I'd say so.
But I'm looking at it right now. So the spread actually did change. The Chiefs are opening at 6.5-point favorites. Looking at the ESPN matchup predictor, they give the Chiefs a 65.3% chance of beating the Giants. I think that we'd all like that number to be higher. But I also think that this is the battle between two 0-2 football teams.
Yeah.
And you saw the Giants last week against the Cowboys put up a lot of points. Chiefs haven't done that. And so, what is your concern level that maybe we see, a legacy game from Russell Wilson, who has beaten the Chiefs before, and he's got some good weapons on that offense. I'm looking at it right now. They've got Cam Scatabo in the backfield, Tyrone Tracy, wide receivers, Malik Neighbors, Jalen Hyatt, and Darius Slayton. He's got some weapons. He loves to throw the deep ball. What's your level of concern at going into this game?
That's a great question. Now, Neighbors definitely concerns me. That guy is going to be a star for a long time in the league. Doesn't matter who his quarterback is. That guy can produce. but everybody else, not. I really don't feel that much fear going up against the Giants offense. Now I know Russell Wilson had 450 and 3 tutties
cooked
against
Russ
the Cowboys.
cooked.
Now the Cowboys defense is kind of ass. They were missing
Kinda?
they were missing DeRon Bland, and I think Trevon Diggs is still on a snap count. So I'm not too worried about the Chiefs defense in this game. But if they can't get to the quarterback again, if it doesn't improve at least, then I'm worried. If you look at pass rush win rate, pass rush success rate, Charles Omenihu and George Karlaftis on the edge, they're both near the bottom. That has to improve, especially with a guy like Karlaftis, who you just gave $23 million to per year. It's got to improve this week for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit concerned about the offensive line play. When we talked a little bit about the weapons that they have on the defensive line for the Giants, I mean, when you compare it to the Eagles' defensive line, obviously they don't have the big threat. I mean, Dexter Lawrence is a great player in his own right, but he's not quite Jalen Carter, I don't believe. I believe Jalen Carter is going to be a top D tackle in this league.
Yeah.
Very
He already
shortly.
is.
Yeah,
I mean,
the top.
When he can keep his spit in his mouth, he's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So, but I think that they present a little bit more of a problem as far as the edge rushers than the Eagles do.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be one thing to watch would be how Josh Simmons performs. Like, I mean, Kyle, you talked about it. He performed great last week.
0 pressures.
Right. So I think he'll be fine, but it'll be just a little bit more of a challenge than what the Eagles present. Juwan Taylor, obviously, we know he hasn't been great so far. So I think it'll be interesting to see those edge rushers and how our tackles hold up specifically.
I mean, that's the big question. And I think so far they've actually held up quite well because even the Chargers have some pass rushers. Obviously, the Eagles have just a crazy rotation that features Joshua Uche, who should be in Kansas City. But another story of the
Josh
Chiefs.
Uche, the Eagles' highest graded defender the first 2 weeks.
Multiple weeks in a row.
Who has performed well everywhere except Kansas City for some
Yeah.
reason.
That Josh Uche?
Yeah, that Josh Uche. So, yeah, that one stings, especially when you look at the list and you see George Karlaftis and Charles Omenihu down at the bottom of pass rush win rate.
Yeah.
But, I look at this game and I see, I don't want to say a trap game because how could it be a trap game when you're 0-2? You should go in there with every reason to win. The Chiefs are a better football team, but you're also going on the road, prime time, and if you think that Russell Wilson and, his friends, I guess, aren't going to be that much of a challenge, you're going to lose this game because they have enough talent on offense to put up points. But I think, again, we're all very confident the Chiefs' defense will rise to the challenge. Even if they don't end up getting to Russell Wilson, their defense can disguise enough stuff on the back end to confuse him, and he might just make some mistakes. I mean, that's what he's done over the course of his career. The question is, can the Chiefs' offense score against a bad defense? And I'd like to sit here and tell you yes, but what have we seen over the last 2.5 years that would lead you to think, oh, yeah, they're going to take advantage of a bad team on primetime?
Yeah, it does scare me. My biggest fear Sunday night is that we're going to be sitting here in the third quarter, 2 minutes left in the third, and it's going to be 13-7
just
Giants.
sweating.
Yes, and we'll be sweating our asses off just watching this game. What the hell has happened to the offense? Back-to-back weeks, I feel like they've talked about getting to a hot start, and obviously, Caden and I broke it down. The script has sucked. Get to it. Score on your first drive. Announce yourself that, hey, we're back, right? And another part of this game that terrifies me a little bit, and terrified's the wrong word, but Brian Daboll's coaching for his job at this point. It's Hail Mary time if you're Brian Daboll and you still want to be the head coach of New York. Beating the Chiefs, that could buy you a little bit of extra time. Now, I think Daboll's already kind of run out of time, but yeah, the Giants want this win just as much as you do. They're on scholarship too,
Yeah, and guess what? I'm looking back. The Chiefs played the Giants. The last time they played the Giants was November 1st, 2021. The Chiefs won the game to move to 4-4 on the year. Do you want to guess the final score of this game at Arrowhead Stadium? Keep in mind, Kadarius Toney was still playing with the Giants.
Oh. Give me the over-under on the points.
40. It was not a pretty football game. But when has it been a pretty football game?
What was it, 20-13?
It was 20-17.
Oh, nice.
I don't remember that game too well. I feel like the Chiefs must have... Okay. Actually, not only did the Chiefs only win by 3. They went in to the fourth quarter sweating with a lead.
Oh, yes. Now I'm starting to remember this game now. Yes.
So anyone that thinks that the Chiefs are going to march into New York and just stick it to the Giants, go buy a lottery ticket with that kind of confidence. I don't see a team that's going to go in there and just run away with the win. Even if you just look at the betting lines.
Yeah, there's no evidence of it yet. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
They're favored by 6.5. Would you take those points?
Not right now, no.
I wouldn't.
No. We've never been good at covering the spreads, as we talked about. You know?
Especially over the last 3 years. They've been horrible at covering the spread.
I don't know what it is, but we're not a team that's good at covering those spreads.
And Darcy, you kind of talked about, is this a trap game or not? It kind of is, but obviously you want to avoid going 0-3, but you have Baltimore the week after.
Yeah.
Well, not only do you have Baltimore, you go home. If the Chiefs don't win this week, if you're 0-3 staring at Baltimore, I mean, I already think the Chiefs are kind of staring down the barrel of 1-3, and that is a very scary place to be. And your schedule doesn't get any easier. That's the bigger concern. That you play the Giants in week 3. You started Chargers, Eagles, then you play Ravens, Lions, Commanders. You play the Bills later on in the year, the Jags. I guess the Jags are the Jags, but
mixed in right there. Yeah, it goes Ravens, Jags, Lions, Raiders, Commanders, Bills, Broncos.
Doesn't get any easier.
That is tough. Yes.
And so where those wins come from?
Yeah, I know. You're looking at you start 0-3, you start thinking about a 9-8 season, 8-9 season.
I'll go as far to say if you go 0-3, you got to stop thinking about the division. You got to start thinking about the wild card because the Chargers opened up their season going Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos.
Yeah.
There's a very real possibility they win on Sunday. They're 3-0, and if you're 0-3, that's a big mountain to climb. And again, if there's any team that can do it, it would be the Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes-led Chiefs. But the overarching concern, this offense has been bad for 3 years. It hasn't gotten really better. In fact, if we want to go back over the
1 minute.
Stats that Price Carter put out over X, right now they are 24th in points, 18th in yards. They've gotten worse. They were 15th last year, total offense, 15th year before. Right now, they're towards the bottom of the league. And so there are some big concerns, about this offense going into New York. We've got a ton more to get to in this last segment. You guys are listening to The Night Shift on Sports Radio 810 WHB. In the first 2 weeks of the season, the only way the Chiefs' defensive line has been able to get pressure is when Steve Spagnuolo blitzes. Going up against an offensive line in the Giants that has never been really good and hasn't been great this year, the expectation should be to get to Russell Wilson, whether you have to disguise a blitz or not, because if you let him sit back in the pocket and let Neighbors run down the field and get open against our defensive backs, he's going to let it rip. He's going to throw that deep ball, and if he connects, could be a long night.
Yeah, I've got an interesting stat here. This is from Jesse Newell on Twitter. The Chiefs have gone cover 0, all-out blitz. That's all-out blitz, no safety help, 14 times through 2 games this season. That's more cover 0 snaps than the Bills, Packers, Saints, Eagles, 49ers, Texans, Falcons, Lions, Rams, Chargers, Bengals, and Panthers combined. So that if that doesn't tell you how they feel about the pass rush to this point, then I'm not quite sure what does.
It's bad. The pass rush is bad.
Yeah. Right now you're leading sacker Drew Tranquil with 2 in week 1, and then Karlaftis has 1 where he just ran, I think it was Herbert, out of bounds, which counts as a sack because he was behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah. And then the other one is Omar Norman Lott, who we saw spear Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
But where's Chris Jones? Where's George Karlaftis? They're not even getting their pressure numbers are all down from last year.
Yeah. Well, how much of that do you think's effort? I'm not trying to call out their effort, but it almost seems like if you're not even winning, are you even trying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw Chris Jones' pressure rate throughout most of his career has been up around 17 or 18. This year, take a guess where he's at.
Below 10?
He's at 10%.
Wow.
10%, man. So that's a big drop-off.
Well, not only is it a big drop-off, but in order for this defensive line to work, you need Chris Jones to eat. You need him to get to the quarterback and apply pressure, or at least take some of those offensive linemen on a double or a triple team, because then George Karlaftis can get home. And I'll tell you what, George Karlaftis got paid because Chris Jones is so fantastic. So, going into this game, I think the energy has to be high for both sides of the football, but defensively, your mindset has to be, we got to hold this team to under 20 because we don't know what we're going to get from the offense. You're out your top two wide receivers. Your tight end has been inconsistent so far this year. You can't run the football. Defensively, you got to go out there and hold this, Russell Wilson-led offense to sub 20.
Yeah, and that's way too tough of a challenge to put on your defense. It's going to be more of the same from last year, unless some miracle change happens, but I'm not sure where that comes from.